talk all about revitalizing New London with Hannah Gant and George Ryan. Thanks so much for being on. You call yourselves working board members of Spark Makerspace. What is that?
Spark Makerspace is a community-run workshop and learning center that we have been working as part of the board, but with many other people in the New London community and beyond to establish as a really vibrant makerspace, co-working space, art space that is run by a community of people who like to make things and make things happen.
How did you get together, the two of you, and decide we're going to make this happen for New London? We're going to take these dilapidated buildings, if you will, we're going to fix them up, we're going to put spaces in there where people can meet and co-work and learn how to weld and sew and make things. How did this joint venture happen? How did the two of you meet each other?
I got involved back when it was still just an idea. And Hannah I heard her speak on the subject, you know, this is what we'd like to do for New London. She drew you in. She drew me in. I heard about it. I was like, that's cool. What's actually going on? She said, we'd like to start a makerspace. And that's something I'd been wishing was in the area for a while.
What's your background?
I own a couple of tech companies.
I love that, a couple of tech companies.
They're internet-based. The company's located in Pawcatuck, and we focus mostly on logo design and branding. We use a crowdsourced model where for a couple $100 you get to see 100, 200 unique logos for your company and work with a ton of designers.
It's called Hatchwise. Everyone should check out hatchwise.com.
All right, so and we should say you're not from Connecticut, you're from Seattle.
I'm from Seattle.
And what drew you here?
Well, you know, about 3 years ago, I'd been living in Hartford but was completing an MBA program, studying community economic development and finance.
Here?
Well, the MBA was in Seattle, but it was this part online, part in person, kind of hybrid program at Pinchot University, which was a great experience, but allowed me to stay kind of rooted in Connecticut, where I just see so much potential. Such a resource-rich state, but the cities are, again, have a lot of potential. And I was drawn to come back to Connecticut because of just a desire to be useful, and the MBA program was something that I thought would really equip me to be effective in helping groups of people start businesses together. And so I kind of identify as a civic entrepreneur and was moving down to New London 3 years ago and just really fell in love with the potential of the city and took a little bit of time to kind of get to know the place and build relationships. And it was really the idea of a makerspace is what really made sense to me as the thing that would galvanize all of the potential in New London and really help it to kind of spark. So that's part of where the name has come from.
Makerspace, is that a term that we're using a lot around the country right now? I haven't heard that before you guys.
Yeah, it's the concept of a makerspace is 5 or 6 years old, but it's become really popular really quickly. And that's something that is happening all over the country, all over the world, actually. We just had someone from, I think it was Norway, the other day contact us, and they were like, hello from Makerspace Norway.
I love that.
It was really cool.
All right, let's show the folks the first two photos that we have of the two buildings. So you have two spaces in New London. This is one of the Spark places. Tell me, what is this building and what was in it?
Well,
it was empty, right?
Yeah, 13 Golden Street is the first space that we found. So, and you know, George and I, as working members, are joined by so many others, including John Curran is someone who I met early on in the process, and I've been working with closely, and Maple Andrews and Casey Moran are also on the board with us, and we were really looking for a site downtown for this makerspace, which really is like a shared workshop. You know, we have a wood shop, you know, electronics, a commercial kitchen. So it's just you pay a gym-like membership and then you access all of these spaces.
You learn life skills,
and
right?
you get to learn things.
There's another building. So this is one of them. This is the other building.
Yeah. So this is actually where the makerspace is on the first floor. 2,000 square feet of a wood shop that a community of volunteers have been putting together over the past several months. We assumed this building occupancy in October, and just about 6 weeks ago took over the second floor, which we're calling the art space. So that has screen printing, printmaking, photography, small metal jewelry. And right now we're signing up working members because we are organizing this cooperatively with working and non-working members, and kind of really thinking about Spark not so much as the spaces, but as this creative, collaborative, civically engaged community of people who like to make things and make things happen. And that our first project is to build out our spaces that are facilitative of us to be able to make things and play together.
So this is a constant rolling up of the shirt sleeves as we're looking here. We're looking at
so
another
that's
space.
the art space. That's the
Okay.
second floor of what was the L&G, well-known music venue.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the next picture, we're going to see some more working. So you just got in there, I see some old booths in there, yeah. Yep. You just got in there and said, okay, let's make this fresh and new and make it viable, correct?
Well, let's make it useful for us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, let's continue on with the photos. This is the machine of the week. This is some kind of a press maybe that you guys use. What do you use this for?
I do not personally use that. I believe it's a heat press. It's used to put
Shirts and
You can
whatnot.
Exactly,
shirts,
yeah.
giant decals, that kind of thing.
All right, what else
Yeah.
do we have here? Okay, look at this.
Yeah.
Some welding going on,
Yeah,
correct?
there's one of the ways that we are organizing Spark. And I said before, as membership-based community, we're trying to make this very member-led and staff-supported. So there is some staff, but the staff's role is really to be coordinating the members to do a lot of the work, including leading skill-sharing classes. So that, again, thinking about Spark as this community-run workshop and learning center, that it really is a site where people can come and learn how to do things, and the learning happens through peer-to-peer learning.
That's very interesting. Let's take a look at some more. I'm not sure what that is. That welding, maybe? I'm not sure.
I think that's soldering
Oh, it's
there.
soldering.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can tell by the handle there.
Yeah.
And the next picture, that's taking a picture of your logo.
Yeah, which is just up on the wall in the wood shop, very large, prominent
And I
in
think
the back of the wood shop.
there's a sewing machine in here somewhere. And as I said to you, you're teaching life skills that are not being taught in the high schools anymore.
Yeah.
So this is a community. If I show up to one of these two buildings in New London and I want to learn some things, I pay a fee to learn these things, and I can also teach if I want to, if I have a skill. There's a lot of give and take
We have
going on here.
two different aspects to it. There's the membership aspect where it's $30 a month, and that's for working members, and you show up and you help out in some way each month, help to run the place. And the other level is $55 a month, and you can just show up and use everything that we have without any obligation. We also have classes that you can either take or teach. Teaching a class, leading a class falls under the working member category. So hey, if you're leading a class, your membership is $30 a month, and we do have some commission split with the instructors as well.
Right, and there's also going to be commissions on the retail space. So kind of phase one is establishing kind of the maker space, art space, and co-working space. But on the heels of that, we'll be setting up a retail space at the 13 Golden Street, where we can be collectively managing our own boutique, where items that makers in the community, we have a space where we can be selling things. But another point I want to make about the learning that I think is really important is that it really is one of our reasons for being, that we really are trying to create a site where people can cultivate themselves, and that we can cultivate community, and that we can increase our effectiveness at taking care of our place. And so there's lots of ways that people in the general public can get involved in Spark, and it doesn't require membership. So we've got lots of meetup groups, and people can read about this on our website, spark.coop, that are forming, as well as classes that are open to the public. So we're trying to make it really easy for people to make, learn, do, and play together.
Did these spaces start popping up all over the globe, do you think, after 2008, after 2009, when the economy dipped, people lost their jobs, people lost hope in many respects, that it started emerging from the ground up again, and you're building things that don't exist? Do you think that that's why all of this popped up? Because it's everywhere.
I hadn't actually thought of that, but that is interesting. It does line up with that pretty closely. It's been interesting just I think people have if we're going to have to change things ourselves if we want to see change. And it's been great just seeing the people coming together and really working to build something. I mean, you were talking about welding earlier. That's a great example there. We have an outdoor area we've been intending to turn into a welding area. We had some of the members get together and say, we want a welding area. And they've just been coming up with plans, building it out, figuring it out themselves.
Because you can.
Exactly.
If you need something, you just build it.
And because the culture that we're trying to establish is very member-led. So, it's why we don't identify, I don't identify as like an executive director of Spark. I'm like one of the board
You're a
members.
worker bee.
And we all have like specific kind of roles that we play. We're really trying to kind of leverage the specific talents of each of us as individuals and have a culture of trust that makes that effective. And certainly we have a development plan for what's potential with Spark that includes growing into having a lending library. Like I anticipate, one of the messages we wanted to share tonight, and so appreciative of having this platform, is that we're open for working members, and we're building out our spaces to then be open for general members. So we're not fully operational yet, but we have really started by making the call for donations of equipment and materials. And so we're
What do you need, Hannah? Right now, what do you need?
we need, we would love a projector, we would love a soft saw, table saw, we would love computers and tablets and art supplies, office materials, a smart whiteboard. We also have a wish list on the website, but part of what you named that people were looking for in the economy after 2008 is like is recognizing that these shared spaces are more cost efficient. Right?
Sure,
right?
absolutely.
That's like,
you could
that's
build
like
a
a
business.
thing. And there's all sorts of ways that like Spark is trying to leverage the efficiencies of things that are idle in capacity, not just, and some of that includes the items that are sitting in people's basements and
Sure.
garages that aren't being used. So even if we had all the money in the world to start this, we wouldn't go out and buy everything new, because we're very dedicated to increasing kind of like part of what we think is.
Well, you reuse, repurpose.
we
You're-
reuse,
you're all about
repurpose,
that.
and sustainability. Yep.
You have some state money in this. You're always looking for investors to keep you growing in certain ways. Is there a wish list that way?
I mean, it requires money to run, and money's always good.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think over time, as you rebuild a community, and that's really what you guys are doing, what do you foresee this becoming 5 years, 10 years down the road, as these other spaces pop up all over the state of Connecticut? Are you all going to join together? You're each going to have your own, niches that you do? I mean, how is this all going to work statewide, do you think?
Well, the money that we received is through the Connecticut Next program, which is really driving the Connecticut entrepreneurial ecosystem through Department of Economic and Community Development and Connecticut Innovations. And they're asking that question of like, how can we make this more of an ecosystem across the state? So some of that is happening. I think that CT Next is doing a great job, and we're really pleased to be a part of it. But part of our vision for what's in development with Spark in southeastern Connecticut is we're not specifically designing with a goal of business development in mind, but we anticipate that there will be businesses that get started as part of this community, that it really is like fundamentally about providing a space where people can, you pay that gym-like fee, and then you get access to all this amazing stuff. And then there's all of these opportunities to not just learn from one another, but also to play together. So I'm excited about facilitating like design challenge events where we really chew on like an idea for something that would solve a shared problem in the community, and the entrepreneurs among us can carry that forward as a mission-based enterprise.
It's too bad there's no passion in your voice at
Yeah.
all, Hannah.
Yeah.
It is just like you say, it's sparking
It is sparking,
ideas.
yeah. And so, I mean, part of the business model here that we think is potential is that by collaborating together with creativity and this culture of civic engagement, that we will be generating a lot of shared projects together that become businesses. So part of the vision for Spark is kind of thinking about it as this cooperative that starts cooperatives, and that some of our projects, if and when they're successful and profitable, a percentage of income will come back to cover the operational costs of Spark, replenish our development pool for ongoing kind of business development, and then, you know, further down the road, if we are actually substantially successful, we will have surplus money as a community to take care of things in our community, to buy the buildings in New London that are totally falling apart, totally uneconomic to fix up, but still need to be fixed up. Who's going to do that work?
What do you worry about the most? What do you worry about the most? When you go home, go, oh gosh, I don't know if this is going to work. What do you worry about the most?
I can be a pretty negative person, so I worry about everything.
Well, hang out with Hannah.
Exactly. Hannah and I balance each other out very well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different aspects to this that need to come together, that have been coming together.
People need
I've
to
been
get
happy.
it.
Exactly,
right?
and people have been getting it. And I've been very happy that my pessimism has not been, you know, proving to be founded
It's
in
not
anything
choking.
real. Yeah, you know, it's been great.
Well, thank you both for coming on. Thank you for moving out here to the East Coast from Seattle. The passion is just awesome. Your website is spark.coop.
COOP.
.com or just
No,
COOP?
just
COOP.
Right, spark.coop.
Yeah.
Hannah Gant, George Ryan, Spark Makerspace. Thanks so much.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Anne.
Made a trivial pursuit, spend one this in. Who is this girl? Spend all night kissing, and if one was right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked if I'm a wishing to find the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Things keep locked in the grocery store, but mine just to save time. Skip right ahead to the last ride. The harder we look, the